Not yet learned your lesson?
This time, Fenlong, I came ready.
Ready to lose again?
Welcome to the relay. We're covering today's top boxing news.
Okay, we'll start with this, a bit of good news. As it pertains to a fight that took place over the weekend, Isis Sio has awoken and is speaking, taken off ventilator after what was her brutal knockout at the hands of Jocelyn Camarillo on the undercard of Martinez versus Alim. Isis Sio, the 19-year-old junior flyweight who was knocked out Saturday and put into a medically induced coma, has awoken and is speaking. Two officials briefed on the matter told Boxing Scene on Monday. Sio was knocked out by a combination of headshots from unbeaten Jocelyn Camarillo at the National Orange Show Event Center in San Bernardino, California. She was immediately tended to by emergency personnel who raced her convulsing body out of the venue to the respected Loma Linda University Health Medical Center. There, she was subjected to further tests while her progress was tracked. Sio is now also breathing on her own and has been removed from a ventilator that was supporting her. Boxing Scene will have more information on Sio as it develops. The official word from the victor of this past weekend's contest, Jocelyn Camarillo, said, "First and foremost, my opponent has been on my mind, and I'm truly relieved that she is okay. I would never want anything bad to happen to anyone I share the ring with. As soon as it registered what was happening, my energy shifted. I took a knee, and my concern was with her. What's been harder is feeling judged and attacked, especially during a moment that's already been a lot for me to take in. I also want to say I truly appreciate everyone who's reached out to check on me mentally. It means more than you know. Much respect to Isis Sio. Why would the paying public decide to go after Jocelyn? She just went in there and did her job." It's likely because there are people who feel Isis should have never been in there with Jocelyn, not coming off of a knockout loss to Perla Saldua earlier this year in January, only being 19 years old. It's important to note that the knockout loss that she suffered at the beginning of this year was not from a head punch, but a body shot, so that likely played a factor, that it wasn't head trauma, she wasn't concussed. In her previous fight, she got knocked out, but it was from a body shot. That doesn't make this any less scary. We saw something similar happen a few years ago with Mexico's own Phoenix Ayala after her fight with Henarenkin in Scotland. I believe that she also was placed in a medically induced coma, and she, like Isis Sio, was able to gain consciousness over time, made a full recovery. Isis might have to think about hanging the gloves up. That's the reality of it. It was a close call. Too close for comfort. And I don't place any of the blame on Jocelyn Camarillo for doing her job, or even the matchmakers that put this fight together, because the reality of it is, fighters like Isis Sio are the backbone of boxing. In all likelihood, one of your favorite fighters fought several fighters just like Isis Sio, who had upside-down records and might have been coming off of losses. It is an occupational hazard, and a standard practice in the early goings of a boxer's career, a boxer like Jocelyn Camarillo, that I don't place any of the blame on her. I think the entire boxing world collectively was holding its breath and crossing its fingers, hoping for good news, and eventually we got it, though the truth is, this is your run-of-the-mill situation, your run-of-the-mill fight against your run-of-the-mill opponent that a young boxer encounters in the early goings of their career. It happens all the time, thus, I don't see a need to castigate anyone over what happened. A statement from the family of Isis Sio. At this time, Isis remains in the ICU, but she is off the ventilator, and we are hopeful for her progression. We are waiting further updates from her medical team. She is currently under the care of 3 specialized medical divisions who are closely monitoring her condition. We sincerely appreciate the continued support, thoughts, and prayers during this time. All of it poses a question. Can anything else be done to improve the safety of the fighters? And it's hard to say because it's already a very brutal sport. Brutality is what people pay to see. That's the inconvenient truth.
I hope that Isis makes a full recovery, and I hope that she considers retiring from the sport of boxing, as this was a close call.
This is also a sport where the powers that be went as far as adding an additional minute to the rounds in a women's boxing match in the hopes that it would produce more knockouts to make it more appealing, more marketable. So you'll forgive me if I'm ambivalent about what measures can be taken to prevent situations like this from happening. I just don't know.
But I am very thankful to hear that she's okay, that she's breathing on her own, and that she's awake and she's speaking. It's the news we were waiting to hear, and I aspire to hear that she makes a full recovery. I don't think she should be boxing again, though.
You said the moment fight's probably not big enough right now. You said to me that...
Well, it is big. No, it is big. But you imagine, I mean, I would offer him, I don't know, a couple of $100,000 for that fight. He'd be like, imagine him, hey man, if you don't start with 10 mil, then, you know, like, it's like, oh God, mate, like, did you see his last fight? Yeah, I mean, and it was in front of about 12 people in upstate New York. You know what I mean? I don't even know if he's any good, to be honest with you. I mean, Georgia does, but yeah, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say he's a good young prospect. But they're just so deluded. Like, I mean, how much do you honestly think he made for that fight? Like $5,000, $10,000, dollars. I mean, was he headliner? Well, I don't know, but whatever. But of course, yeah, we sling him a couple of $100,000 for that fight. But he's going to go. He's going to say how terribly disrespecting that is. You know. So
he said he wants on the Mayweather-Pacquiao undercard.
Does it? Fine, no problem. That's their show. Make us an offer.
Where did you hear that? Because
So he told me.
oh, he told you, did he? Wow. Wow.
Friends.
We'll see if he's all talk.
Curmel Moton, reacting adversely to Eddie Hearns' comments, said $5,000. Do your research before you speak on me.
What research is there to do on Curmel Moton? This is a guy who's been fighting on floater fights, literally floater fights, some that take place before the cameras actually start rolling in what is the non-televised portion of a show, and at least once after the main event was over, when nobody's around and there are no cameras rolling.
I know exactly what it was Eddie Hearn was talking about when he says these guys are delusional. He didn't say it outright, but he's talking about the Americans. As soon as you start negotiating with them, they want the moon and the stars. They want to start asking for things they wouldn't otherwise ask for, and there are a good number of people that are hip to it. In the comment section of Curmel Moton's tweet,
See a good number of people letting him have it. Guy who goes by the name Right Hero said, let's just get this match started. No more of these Instagram games. People want to see you fight. Another Twitter user who goes by the name Linnea Dej said, are you going to send an offer? We've seen what happened when you were put up against Anthony Cuba. Send an offer, champ.
send it. If you don't like the kind of money Eddie Hearn puts up, if he even decides to put up any money, because I don't see why he would, what does George Vizzioli actually get out of fighting Curmel Moton? You know, he's doing his thing. He's getting seen. You ain't got no visibility. For all the hullabaloo about being Floyd Mayweather's latest prospect,
Who fucking cares?
nobody cares if Floyd Mayweather gave you his vote of confidence. He's doing a piss-poor job of promoting you, and now you're trying to attach your name to George Vizzioli to gain some visibility. Before that, he was trying to attach his name to Lamont Roach.
Who fucking cares?
A Twitter user who goes by the name Kyrie Irving said, you're not that guy, buddy. Just because you were spoken upon doesn't mean you're worth that currently. You haven't yet to do anything in boxing. Talking about do your research. We've been researching. When are you going to fight someone good? Another Twitter user who goes by the name Redo said $5,000, but he is right. You shouldn't expect millions for this fight. You're not at that level yet, but this might help you.
What level is he at?
Well, he's about 9-0 with 7 KOs. Clearly not in a place where you gotta pay this kid millions upon millions of dollars to do anything, I would argue. The most that anybody should be paying him is either the high end of 4 figures or the low end of 5.
I never understood what the hype around Curmel Moton is supposed to be, aside from he's Floyd Mayweather's latest protege, though one look at him, you could see what Floyd was going for. A Gervonta Davis knockoff. He ran out and signed the first short, stumpy, stocky, light-skinned kid he could find.
Last in action in February of this year on the undercard of Elijah Pierce's last fight that wasn't even promoted by Floyd Mayweather, it was promoted by Manny Pacquiao. At the Turning Stone Resort and Casino in Verona, New York, and I hardly think that anybody paid through the nose to use Curmel Moton on the undercard of that show to fight Wilfredo Flores. Give me a break.
Now, the rumor is that they might want to use Curmel Moton on the undercard of the upcoming Mayweather vs. Pacquiao rematch, and if they do, they should be the ones making the offer, not the other way around. Don't try to act like it's Eddie Hearn in a hurry to match his guy against you. He's got nothing to gain from you. If you want that fight that bad, have your people make him an offer. Otherwise, fuck off!
I don't even know at what weight this contest is supposed to take place because George Vizzioli's last fight was fought within the lightweight limit, whereas Curmel Moton last fought at welterweight.
He fought at what?
He weighed in at 142 pounds. That's welterweight. A pound, an ounce above the 140-pound limit makes you a welterweight. It makes it a welterweight contest.
What the fuck's this little ass guy doing all the way up there?
Not making lightweight, that's for goddamn sure. You saw Eddie Hearns' eyes roll into the back of his head because he already knows what kind of a headache this could become entertaining. This loudmouth youngster that doesn't have much to offer in terms of name value or...
It's not for a belt.
It's not about that. It's not about anything. So if you are going to fight on the undercard of Mayweather versus Pacquiao 2, shouldn't you be the one making the offer?
You're the one asking for the fight.
Years of promoting shows in the United States and having to deal with American fighters firsthand, Eddie Hearn knows by now how much of a headache these guys can be, and how their egos and the size of them don't seem to match their marquee value. So if you want the fight so bad, put your money where your mouth is, or shut the fuck up.
Nobody cares that you're Floyd Mayweather's pet. His pet project, his protege. The most Floyd has had you doing is fighting on the non-televised portions of shows.
You ain't beat nobody. You ain't won nothing, won nobody's belt.
Just put the fucking money up. If you want the fight so bad, and you're so fucking good, then your people shouldn't hesitate to put the money up. Put up or shut up.
I don't know, bro. Like I said, we're taking it one fight at a time. Like, as has been apparent, sometimes I think something's going to happen after the fight and it doesn't happen. So I'm doing what's best for me. I'm putting on muscle, but not really like a lot of muscle like that. What I've noticed from when I go up is that it's not in my power that makes me who I am. It's my combination punches and my speed. So now that I see that, you know, these guys, they're way slower than light heavyweights. They're way slower than super middleweights. And I'm even right now, I'm faster than super middleweights and light heavyweights. So that's going to be, you know, that's going to be my key right there. My speed, my combinations, and my movement. You know, I feel like you guys are going to see more movement from David Benavidez, not to run, but just to set myself up for different shots. So, yeah, man, I'm a, you know, Surdo Ramirez, you know, all those guys, you know, compared to me and my speed, you know, I'm unmatched, you know, but I still need to work hard, still need to be on my P's and Q's, and I'm going to be ready for whatever comes my way.
David, that's a great point.
I'm gonna do what is best for me. That's the quote, as David Benavidez now isn't sure what weight class he will stay at after the Zurdo Ramirez fight. Let's make a long story short.
Skip the foreplay. He's not moving down to light heavyweight. It's exactly what I've been telling you. You think a guy
who's moving up from light heavyweight up to cruiser is gonna win 2 alphabet titles at cruiser. If he does, to then drop back down to light heavyweight, drop 25 pounds.
More than 25 pounds. You look at this guy's walk-around weight. He's got to be walking around at 220, somewhere in between 220 and 230.
He must be, because just the other day he admitted he drops 50 plus pounds in order to make weight that I never thought for a second he'd return to the light heavyweight division. Looking back, his light heavyweight campaign would have lasted all of 3 fights.
And 1 shiny green email.
We've seen the last of David Benavidez as a light heavyweight, especially now that there's an added incentive to stay at cruiser since Jai Opetaia is not a champion anymore, making it now likely that the winner of Vidal Ridley versus Matthias Masternak is ordered to face Chris Billum Smith for the newly vacated title.
Whoever wins that fight.
You'll see that David Benavidez wasn't all that interested in the red and gold title when Jai Opetaia had it. But if somebody else has it, well, that's something else.
That's it. I mean, what should Jai Opetaia do now?
Go for the green one. Before we got to this point, the World Boxing Council gave Jai Opetaia and Zuffa Boxing its blessing to stage a unification match between Jai Opetaia and their champion, Noel Mikhailian, who to my knowledge is still free and isn't under orders to satisfy any mandatories. How Zuffa should respond to the IBF's decision is by going after another belt. A different one. The green and gold one. That's supposed to be the one that's the most prestigious, right? Go after that one.
Well, that's the one that David Benavidez held 2 times at super middle and the one he currently holds at light heavy. Let's see if he wants to hold it at cruiser. That's the one you should go after. Beat him to the punch. They have the money.
Zuffa has more than enough money behind them to make that fight a reality over the summer months, and they need to move quickly because time is of the essence. It's all this hullabaloo about them being backed by Turkey Al Sheikh, TKO, Sella, the WWE and the UFC and Paramount. If you can't make a simple Noel Mikhailian fight happen,
It's time to flex some of that money muscle.
wouldn't be at all surprised to hear tomorrow morning that Zuffa Boxing, on behalf of Jai Opetaia, has filed suit against the IBF for nefarious business practices and collusion.
Think about how it happened.
They were always going to strip him outwardly. It would seem like they waited until the very last minute to do it, but that's what gives it away.
They were always going to strip him. They just wanted to paint him into a corner first. Zuffa tried to get ahead of this thing by paying the sanctioning fee ahead of time, and the IBF accepted it, waiting up until the week of the fight to withdraw their sanction, which begs the question, if you were going to pull it,
What took you so long?
they didn't want to give the event coordinators enough time to call the whole thing off on the premise that it would have costed Jai Opetaia his title. They wanted to catch them with their pants down. Don't give them enough time to come up with a plan B. Do it a few days before the fight so you catch them with their pants down, so Jai Opetaia is painted into a corner.
If Zuffa Boxing is really going to mount a case against the IBF for their dubious business practices and collusion, that should be a part of the case. The timing of their decision to withdraw the sanction.
What if they try to make it about the Zuffa belt, that trinket?
Well, just remind them that they never gave anybody an ultimatum for holding the IBO title alongside theirs, so why are they doing this to Jai now?
You don't recognize the IBO any more than you recognize the Zuffa belt.
There's been all this talk about Zuffa Boxing's resources and how much money is behind them. Well, it's about time they use some of it. Not just to mount a case against the IBF, but to get Jai Opetaia another alphabet title, because the main indictment against them has been that they don't want to work with the sanctioning bodies. Pursuing another belt would communicate the opposite, and that's what they need right now. Even if their long-term strategy is phasing the alphabet organizations out, you play possum until such a time as you can pull that master stroke. You don't show all your cards.
Get Jai another belt.
If you can, it's like he didn't go anywhere, and nothing happened. He's back in the mix, back in the conversation, and an essential component to the undisputed world title picture. Get him another belt.
That's how you fix it.